Hello and welcome to another episode of Women in STEM Show, brought to you by the Alkamba Time. My name is Alkante, your host, and on this show, what we do is shine light on the incredible stories of Gambian women and girls who have breaking barriers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Each episode is about sharing their challenges, their stories, and their triumphs with the hope of inspiring the next generation of girls to see themselves in STEM because we know that the future of our nation depends on it. Today's conversation is extra special because we'll be hearing from a young woman who is already making a lot of waves in science and showing girls her age that it is very possible. She is the former president of Girls in STEM at St. Peter's Senior Secondary School. She's the winner of the Most Outstanding Student Award at the 12th Fanta Science and Maths quiz competition, and she has just excelled in her WAS exam. Please join me in welcoming Sarah TK to the program. Sarah, welcome to Women in STEM show, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Hi, Ola. And how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Sarah, first of all, congratulations on your WAS results. It was incredible.
Thank you.
Now, let's start with an icebreaker. So, if you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be and why?
Determined,
Hmm.
consistent,
Okay.
and hopeful.
Determined, consistent, and hopeful. Why those 3 words? There are a lot of
Because,
words in the English grammar, so why?
because at an early stage, I always knew what I wanted. And knowing what you want comes with determination to get what you want.
Hmm.
And I wasn't someone that was really ready to lose what I wanted. So I
Hmm.
was determined to always get what I wanted. That's why I
Okay.
chose to be determined
Hmm.
and to be consistent. Consistent comes with discipline.
Hmm.
And maybe people might think that discipline only comes with good manners or something, but discipline has to do with taking a routine, doing it consistently. For example,
Exactly.
I wanted to be something great in the future,
Hmm.
and it has steps.
Hmm.
I cannot do a step, leave the next, and do the other one.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
I need to be consistent in the steps that I take in order to get to where I want.
Hmm.
And being hopeful is where my faith lies. I always believe that like, the saying that Allah will not change the condition of a people unless they change what is in themselves.
Very well.
And I also have the dream that as I am working hard, Allah will help me to achieve what I want. I'm always hopeful.
Indeed, quite inspiring. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Sarah. Now, how did your interest in STEM really begin? As a high school student, I can imagine it began really early. How did it begin?
It was just maybe a year or two ago. A
Okay.
group of women came to our school and we were called. Like, they didn't even tell us that it was like a STEM meeting. They told us like it was a girls' meeting. That's what they said.
Okay.
So when we came, these women they started explaining to us the importance of STEM, all what it entails. So that is where the journey of STEM started.
Was that the Women in STEM Gambia? With STEM Gambia, I believe you are a student member of the association.
Yeah, that was the
Okay.
association that came there.
Who were these women that came to your school? Do you remember them now?
I cannot recall their names actually.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so what happened next when they came to your school? I believe they STEM, you guys created a STEM club at St. Peter's where you were president of.
A STEM club was created. Our teacher coordinator was Mrs. Mandy. She never let us slack off.
Okay.
Anytime we wanted to forget, she would remind us. I had this colleague of mine, Safi Ruseka,
Mm-hmm.
and another one, Diminga.
Mm-hmm.
I could say, like, as it began, it was not a strong thing. It was not very strong. So she tried to
Okay.
help us stand firm.
Interesting. But before these women came to your school at St. Peter's, have you always had um like an interest in STEM before? I believe you have ICT as one of the courses that you did at WAS level. No? Did
I
you
didn't
already
do
have an
anything.
interest in science and technology before those ladies came to your school? What grade were you when they were there?
Around grade 11.
You were in grade 11. So prior to their arrival at your school, did you already have an interest in STEM?
Yes, I was always a curious student who wanted to solve problems.
Hmm.
I was always curious of the surrounding my surroundings. So when these
Hmm.
women came, I was like, sometimes there's something in mind, but someone just has to say it before, like you make it into a reality.
Hmm.
So when they came, I was like, that's it.
Okay. So when these women came to your school, you already had an interest in STEM. So when they came with this Women in STEM Gambia initiative, that that then you told yourself, okay, this is something that I can start with, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So, who or what inspired you to take an active role in the STEM club at your school from such a young age?
From a
Was
young
there a
age,
who or what?
it was a what?
Okay.
From a young age, I was curious. I loved to ask questions, and I loved to be the one to answer those questions by myself. That is where my love for maths and science came in.
Hmm.
Well, maths is one of my favorite subjects because it gives me the opportunity to solve, provide. Brainstorming is one of the things that I used to do as a person, to brainstorm.
Okay.
So, and science teaches us to understand more of our surroundings. So, all that compiled up, I just wanted to discover, to find out and understand things that are in my surroundings.
Hmm.
So that is what made me pursue STEM. And when I saw the women in STEM, I always followed it.
Okay. So you talked about something very important, curiosity. Curiosity, I think it is one thing that leads a lot of people I am going to take an example with myself. When I first from high school, I was very curious to know basically everything. So for me, it was overwhelming because I was like, okay, I'm curious about a lot of things. So it was very difficult. I mean, today, I think you guys have an opportunity, a very good opportunity. That you have ICT, especially in your in your curriculum. You did ICT at WAS. I, when I went to high school, I did not have that opportunity, right? So I did physics, I did chemistry, I did biology. So when I first from high school, I was like, I'm curious about a lot of things, but so I was overwhelmed. I was like, okay, so where exactly do I go? Because I'm curious I'm curious about this, I'm curious about this, and I'm curious about this. But what about you? Are you curious about just one specific thing? Say engineering, say ICT, say medicine. What exactly do you want to do?
Not very specific. I'm curious about a lot of things. That is engineering, math, and science. Are you there?
Yes, I believe you're having an internet breakdown because I did not hear what you said.
As I was saying, I am not specific about one thing.
Hello, Sarah, are you
I
with me?
always have an interest in medicine, in math, in engineering, all those stuff.
Okay, how was it like being the president of the Girls in STEM Club at St. Peter's? What did the role entail? What did you do as the president?
As the president of the Girl in STEM, as I said, during my years there, the club was not very firm. So we had to work with the other clubs that were in the school. And our teacher
Okay.
coordinator played a very vital role in it. Mostly,
Mhm.
we had to start off to begin with the maths and science club that was in our school. We had maths and science competitions. We have an ICT club in our school too. They made a dustbin
Mhm.
that would sensor your human presence. That as you go closer to
Okay.
it, as you go closer to it, it will open up.
Wow, that was the role of the student.
Yeah, the ICT students.
Were you an ICT student?
Yeah, I was an ICT student, but not part of the people that made it, but in collaboration with the STEM.
Okay, that sounds interesting. What other projects did you do at the Girls in STEM Club?
As the girl in STEM, and mostly we every end of term we furnished the chairs. That was mainly the technical students area. That was Savietus area. Broken decks, the
Okay.
broken decks that they don't have covers on the tables. They refurnished them every end of term. They made our school door right now. There's a new door there. It has a badge. And it was made by the students.
Were you the first president of the club?
Yes.
So you were the president when you were in grade 11. That means when you moved to grade 12, was there another president or was it still you?
Because it was still me. Because at the time it was new to
Okay, so
everyone.
okay. So you served 2 times. Interesting. What were the things that you learned being a president of a girls in STEM club at high school?
Well, as many people might think that STEM is for only for men. So one of the responsibilities that I took was to break that stereotype,
Okay.
to show everyone that STEM, you just need dedication and hard work, and you need the ability to do STEM. Your gender does not limit you into doing STEM. That was one of the most important things because as a start for everything, it is the ideology.
Mm-hmm.
You have to convince people into what you are giving them.
Okay.
I can just come and say yes, women in STEM. STEM is for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't see those characteristics in me, they're not gonna believe what I say. So I took
Okay.
the upon myself to break that stereotype, and I'm very glad that in my school, there even there are people thinking like that. They are very few, because right now
Mm,
in the technical department we have more females than male.
okay. Did you face challenges while doing this? How did you do this? How do you bring together the girls that were members of the STEM club at your school?
We were lucky in our batch. We were somewhat lucky because many of the females that were
Okay.
there, they had similar thinking like me. That was one of the luckiest things,
Mm-hmm.
and it made the journey easier because it was very easy to convince them. And right
Mm-hmm.
now, as I speak in my badge, the best technical student is not a male, it's a female. And that is a big plus for us. So it was very easy to convince everybody into STEM. And mostly all these activities that I'm telling you, women are engaged, not only men.
Mm-hmm. Now, were there only girls in the girls in STEM clubs? Because girls work alongside boys as well in their various careers. So I I want to know, were there boys in your girls in STEM club?
There were boys, but very few boys. Because when they hear the name,
Okay.
women in STEM, every boy just crosses their hands and say it's for women. There were boys, but very few.
Okay, it's for women. I don't. The club itself is for women, but having boys there kind of makes the whole
Yeah,
inclusivity make make sense, because as a girl, when you go into the fields, when you go to the hospitals, when you go to the labs, when you go to your tech organizations, you find men there that you work alongside with. So I think it's a good culture that also involve boys. So you create that environment for the girls already in the
yeah.
club. Now let's talk about the Center Science and Maths quiz competition. You were crowned most outstanding student in the 12th edition of the competition. How does it feel like? Before we go to how does it feel like, in fact, I want to ask, how was it like participating in this quiz? How was the pressure? How was combining it with school?
It was difficult. It was really difficult because I was the head girl of my school. I was in the 12th grade. I had to study for my exams and I had the competition going. And there was a lot of pressure simply because, like, the pressure that comes with a straight A student, and I know you understand what I'm trying to say. It comes with a lot of pressure.
I
Everybody is hoping that you're gonna win.
I definitely do.
And on my first day of the competition, I was very nervous. I was like to my
Hmm.
teacher, I can't do it. I'm gonna fail. He was like, just give it a try. And that just give it a try, it boosted my confidence. I can imagine from the first day to the last day. Because if I didn't have someone to just boost my confidence, I would not have even get to the final. And there was a lot of pressure simply because I was a female. Because last year the people that went were all boys. So it was a surprise to people that this year a girl is going. So trying to prove everybody wrong also added a lot of pressure onto it.
Hmm.
So it was
I can imagine. Were there a lot of girls in your edition of the Funda Science and Maths quiz competition?
not a lot of girls. We were just few.
So how does it feel being, one of the few girls in the competition and having to come out being the most outstanding student?
It was a moment of pride and honor because all that I wanted to do was inspire girls and show them that your gender does not limit you. Because I could remember when I was going on the first day of the competition, when our school was called and I stood up, people were surprised to see it was a girl. So, reaching the final stage, being crowned the most outstanding student, proved all those people wrong. And it gave all those girls that wanted to pursue their careers, wanted to do something great, but they're afraid, it gave them confidence. Because when I see my fellow girl doing something great, I will tell myself that I can also do this.
Mhm.
So it was a great moment that I was able to inspire girls and awake the potential that is in them. That they should not hide their potential because of what the world says. They should get up and fight for what they want.
Indeed, exactly. That's the mindset we need to break. That's like it's not really about gender; it's about ability. And I think, Sarah, you're showing that through what you do, being the president of the Girls in STEM Club at your school, and showing up for your school at the Fund of Science and Math. That was brilliant. That takes courage, and really, I admire that about you. But maybe some girl out there, maybe in your school, maybe in another school, is having dreams of representing their school in Finder Science and Math. How did you prepare for such a quiz, such a national quiz competition?
For me, when last year, the 11th edition, like I already knew that I was the one that was gonna go next year. I knew that for I
Okay.
was told that I was the one going. And I was taking through all the competitions last year to see how the competitions go. That really helped me. That was number one.
Mhm.
Seeing how the things go, seeing how the questions are asked, and how everything was arranged. That helped me. So in preparing for the quiz, I studied a lot. And having attended the past quizzes, I knew where the questions were from. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm not sure which one of us is having internet breakdown, but anyway, viewers, if you're just joining us, this is Women in STEM Show, and today we have CSCK talking to us about her role at the Girls in STEM Club at her school, and um, her triumph, of course, as the most outstanding student in the 12th edition of the Fund of Science and Math. Sarah is doing amazingly well in STEM already at her age. I can remember when I was in high school, I was not involved in anything related to STEM. I was just there studying, trying to pass. But the fact that you are already out there leading girls in your club at your school and becoming one of the few girls participating in the Fund Science and Math and ultimately becoming the most outstanding student is quite incredible, and I am very sure that girls watching you today on this show are already inspired by you, and you know we want to do just like you are doing or even more. Now, what challenges have you faced being a young woman in STEM? Being the president of the Girls in STEM at your school and being a participant at the Fund of Science and Math. What are some of the challenges that you face, and how have you tried to overcome them?
I faced a lot of challenges like stereotyping, differentiating like this is for boys and this is for girls, doubts from others, people thinking that I'm not fit to be in that position, and also being the one of the only few girls in certain spaces.
Mhm.
Because I could remember when we went for the award ceremony, among all the people that were awarded, we were only two girls. I and Penda from Mansakoli. We were only two girls. So you see, and there were 4 to 5 boys.
Mhm.
So these were some of the challenges. Like sometimes it's like you are a female, this is not meant for you, you cannot do this. The world will decide for you what you can and cannot do.
Mhm.
That was one of the challenges that we faced. But to overcome this, there are some challenges that you don't need words to fight that.
Mhm.
I use these challenges to work hard so that I can
Mhm.
show all those people that thought that I couldn't do it, to make them feel that what they think or what they said is wrong.
Mhm.
That is how I overcome these challenges. And mostly when I'm studying and I become lazy, they ring in my head. Someone said that you cannot do it. So that drives me. Those were one of the things that drives me
Mhm.
into the person that I am today.
Indeed, and I think that is definitely the best weapon. Because when somebody says you cannot do it, and then you show them through your actions that you can really do it, that is the best weapon that you can have. And if you're a girl out there watching Fear today, and you've been at a situation in a situation where somebody says you cannot do it, take it from Fear. Yeah, work hard, do as much as you can to prove to them that you can do it, not just for them, but for yourself. So thank you very much for sharing that. Now, to the elephant in the room, your work results were incredible. And I could not wait to talk about that. 7 8 is incredible. But did you think you could have done better? I think I read somewhere that you, this was not, the result that you were hoping for. Did you think you could have done better than 7 8?
Yes, I could.
Why?
Because it all is preparation. And I believe that this subject that I didn't get an A in, if I had prepared a lot earlier, I would have got an A. I don't blame anyone for that. I blame myself. But I'm also happy and grateful for the results that I've got.
Indeed. Now, if you with the preparation, you know yourself, you know the input, you know the preparation that went into your studies. I know this might you might say it's very normal to say, okay, this is not the result that I was hoping. I'm hoping to get more than this, but I think you did amazingly well. You did very well. I mean, you did better than I did when I was in when I did my work. So you did very well. Don't doubt yourself for a moment. Don't say, okay, I did not get this. Don't beat yourself over it. You understand? So I think you did extremely well anyway. But what strategies really help you achieve 7 8 here?
When during my senior level, I always knew that I could easily get distracted. That was one thing that I knew for sure. So, and the thing that students normally do, waiting till the last hour and trying to study, I knew that that was not going to work for me. So, I started early in my grade 10. I attended class regularly. Even weeks before my exams, I still attended classes. And some students might think that there are some topics that you can easily read by yourself and you don't need a teacher to explain for you. But the teacher's explanation makes a big difference. And the days that you miss class, that is when the teacher says everything about the topic.
Exactly.
From experience, I'm talking from experience. Because, like, the days that you don't go, that is the day all the key points are said, everything is discussed, and you miss. So, one thing was I attended class regularly, and I also went for extra classes
Okay.
from school. direct to studies. I also did personal studies at home. I studied smart,
Okay.
not hard.
Okay.
I developed a study routine by myself. I made a timetable in the every subject. When I read a subject today, I will read it in 3 days' time so that I don't
Okay.
forget what I did. And the other thing I did was to revise past question and answers. Revising past question and answers, you might say that those questions are not going to be repeated, but they really help you in knowing the way that the questions are going to come, knowing the
Exactly.
areas that the examiners normally step. That's that is why I advise students to answer past question and answers regularly and consistent studying. As a student, at, especially a student in grade 12, and grade 12 is a grade that it comes with its own aura that you are coming to finish school. That like so sometimes you tend to get distracted. So I fought that distraction. Our teacher always used to tell us that when you finish grade 12, there is a lot of time ahead to watch movies, time to go out, time to party. So that was the advice that kind of advice that I used to see. So that really helped me in getting what I got in my last result.
Mhm. I kind of love how you broke it down. I think success is really about consistent, not overnight miracles like students like to believe in. And but I think a lot of students watching you today will really relate to that. And like you said, you started from grade 10. You did not wait until you go to grade 12 and want to fasten your pig on Christmas Eve. But yeah, if you're a student watching Sarah today, start. If you're in grade 10, start reading. Don't say, okay, I'm going to wait until I go to grade 11 or grade 12 where I'll do the work to start reading. Be consistent. Like Sarah said, read all the time. And most importantly, don't say you can read. There are subjects that you can read on your own. Attend classes regularly because she said from experience the classes that you don't attend, where the teacher will come and say everything, and you're like, okay, so this teacher did not say anything when I was in the class and waited until I was
Exactly.
not present to say all of these things. Now, how did you balance leadership, competitions, and your academic studies? I know you were a leader at your school, the women girls in STEM club. You were attending. You were a participant, sorry, in the Fund Science and Math, and you were studying for WAS as well. How did you balance it?
Balancing leadership, competitions, and studies was hard in the beginning, but everything comes with planning ahead. Planning ahead makes everything manageable. I realized that all those three they needed a foundation in knowledge, a deep understanding in academics. And as a leader, I don't want to be a leader by name. I don't want to be someone that is called a leader while in my academics I am slacking behind, while in my speech I'm slacking behind, while in my character also I'm slacking behind. I wanted to be a leader that people could look up to from all angles. That was my top priority. So with this and the competitions too and my WAS exams, they were all just studying. I knew that I needed to study. So what I did was I read ahead of the class.
Okay.
I read ahead of the class, and also I stayed at school after when school closed. I stayed back to study, and to balance all these three, sometimes you get to a point that you feel like you cannot do it anymore. That is when your friends come in. We were
Mhm.
six in number. We were the head, six in number. It is not easy to be a leader, so we had to delegate our responsibilities to our assistants. I
So
delegated some of the
kind of had a
responsibility.
support system.
Yeah, we all worked together, so we delegated the affairs. Everybody had their own part to do, not just leaving everything in one person's hand. We all did our part in order to not affect the person. Because at the end of the day, when someone is lagging behind in their own, I would have to take it up, or someone else will have to take it up. You don't know the person's schedule, and sometimes it might affect our education. So one thing we established in the prefect body was everybody had to do your own part of the job, so everything would be fair.
Exactly.
And I made sure that my responsibilities did not overlap with my studies.
Mhm.
That was one thing I know for sure that I didn't want. Because you're going to hear from our Sarah teacher. His name is Mr. Jaju, and he has been advising us a lot. He told me that the day that I was the head girl, he told me that we have always been expected. But if you start playing because of this responsibility, you have to let it go. And me
Mhm.
not wanting to get the position and me not wanting to fail, I had to find a common thing between all these things. So the only thing I could do was to study hard. I didn't have breaks. I didn't rest. I just had to study because I was always looking at the future,
Mhm.
always saying that at least one day I'm going to be happy that I did this.
Exactly.
And today I'm looking behind. I'm very happy that I did those sacrifices. I'm very happy for the moments that I did not reach. I'm very happy for the outings that I did not do.
Mhm. I can see you were a very serious student. That is impressive. Balance is hard even for adults, and the fact that you manage it as a student leader, it shows how discipline and time management can really pay off. Because I think you wouldn't have been able to do all of this if you did not manage your time well, or if you were not disciplined enough to keep going. Like you said, you did not want to let go of either of them. You did not want to let go of your leadership roles. You did not want to you definitely do not want to let go of your academic um success. But do you think participating at the quiz competition kind of also played a role in your academic success as well? Because at the quiz they also ask academic questions. So do you think in any way this quantum science and math quiz competition played a role in the kind of results that you produced?
Yes, it did. As I was saying, when I was preparing for my fantasy science question, I already knew where the questions were from. The questions were from the past question and answers. That is where they get most of their questions. And I also said that in preparing for my exams, I also did past question and answers. So that is how I related those two. Our, I don't know whose network is working. I'm on the stage, but our is not there. I'm on the stage, but our is not there. What the heck is happening? You know? Yeah, but come go. She's not here.
I apologize for that, Sarah. I had internet issues. I am very, very sorry to the viewers as well. I think I had internet issues. I kind of left the studio, but what is yeah, are you with me?
Yeah,
I had
I'm back to
internet
the question.
issues, so sure.
And I knew where the fantasized questions were from.
Mhm.
Not to say that I know what they said, but they are from the past question and answers. That is where they normally put their questions. And also,
Okay.
in preparing for my exam, I also use past question and answers. So I just like combined it and just studied once.
Hmm.
And fund science competition was something that you are in front of everybody. There's a camera on you. You would not want to fail.
Mhm.
So that kind of makes you want to study more because at the end of the day, everybody's going to be watching. So it makes you want to
Mhm.
study more. And while I was doing my fund science, I was also doing exams.
Okay.
That was my private was
Internet.
exam. Private was exams.
Oh, you did private work as well.
Yeah.
You were in grade 11 then.
In grade 10, grade 12. In grade 12, second time.
Okay.
That is the February, January.
How was that result compared to the actual work?
I got 4 A's.
Okay. So it's safe to say that you decided to double up and work harder because you achieved better. How was it like when you received your private work results and you got whole A?
When I received it, sometimes that there are some exams that you know what you're gonna get.
Mhm.
For example, when I sat for my biology exams, I
Okay.
knew that if I did not double up, I would not make it in maths. I knew that for a fact. I wasn't even, I wasn't even surprised when I didn't get an A in biology in primary.
Okay.
So I encourage all the students that have the finance to do private works because at some point it shows you your weak areas and it shows you where you need to double up.
Mhm. Indeed, I remember when I did my WAS and I got my results, I was like, I should have done private WAS. I think I kind of regretted why I did not do private WAS because although it requires funds, you have to pay for it, it's expensive, but it's worth it, especially if you do it in grade 11. Like, okay, you don't wait until when you're in grade
Yeah,
12, maybe in the if you do it in day 11 and you get your results, you know where you need to, you know where your strengths lie and where your weaknesses lie. So you know where you need to study harder and to achieve a better result at once. But 4 A's was still quite impressive.
out of yeah.
Now, Sia, you want to do biomedical engineering. Now, this was not directly from you, but a little while told me you are interested in biological engineering. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, are you with me? Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you. Hello? Are you there? Hello?
The question is, is it true that you want to study biomedical engineering?
I do want to study biomedical engineering, even not now, but sometime in the future.
Okay. Why? Why this thing?
As someone that I have a great love for medicine and I have great love for engineering. So I was thinking of how to balance both of this. I was weighing out my opportunities that I would get in biomed, the opportunities I would get by studying in medicine. But then I came to
Mhm.
find out that there is a course called medical engineering, and I believe that it is the perfect bridge between medicine and engineering because biomedical engineering deals with the research to find treatments to illnesses, designing healthcare equipments to improve healthcare.
Mhm.
So I thought that it was the perfect bridge between my love for medicine and my passion for engineering. So that is why I chose biomed.
I think that is a smart choice. It's like combining your love for science for, a vision for solving real problems. You told me earlier that you like to solve problems. I think this will go a long way, especially in healthcare, where the Gambia really needs innovators and women like you. What impact do you hope to have in healthcare technology in the Gambia when after you studied biomedical engineering?
In the Gambia, we all know that sometimes you go to the hospital because some of their machines are not working. So sometimes you have to travel abroad. And on the way going abroad, maybe unfortunately you might die. So studying
Okay.
biomed does not only deal with research or finding cures to illnesses, it also deals with fixing machines, creating them as well as fixing them. And I have learned that if some of these machines in the Gambia here are spoiled, they have to call biomed engineers from Nigeria or Ghana to come and fix them. And you have to pay them a lot of money just to fix them. And maybe the job might just take 10 minutes or 5 minutes. You pay them a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So by studying biomed, I believe that I can improve my healthcare in the Gambia here. That is by helping to design equipment that will enhance health healthcare in the Gambia here. When the machines are spoiled, they don't need to go all the way to Ghana or Nigeria to fix them. They just need to invite somebody from the Gambia here. And I learned
Yeah.
that there are only four Gambians that study biomedical engineering, but they are not here at the moment. They're all abroad.
Okay.
So if I happen to have the chance to study biomedical, I would really love to come back here.
Okay. I
So
think that is quite noble. That is very noble, especially, with, like you said, all the constraints, all the challenges that medicine, people in medicine face in the Gambia. And, you have this vision of coming back to Gambia even after studying abroad. I think that is quite noble. Now, what is next for Sarah? Sarah, what's next for you? Do you think you're going to start with the University of the Gambia? You said, what's next for you after high school with your work?
uh, I believe that I'm going to start with the UPG
Okay, why you do this?
because, as I said, that I will want to study biomed later in the future. I'm going to start with medicine at the UPG.
Mhm.
After that, I want to do biomed. So that is the plan. I hope it all goes well.
I hope it goes well, and I really pray that Allah aid you in all of your endeavors. Viewers, if you're just joining us, this is Women in STEM show, and today I am talking to Sia Cisse, who has this vision of improving healthcare in the Gambia. So she wants to do medical engineering, but she wants to start with medicine at the University of the Gambia. That is smart. Who knows? Maybe someone watching this today will be inspired by you and also do very well in their WAS exam so they can study biomedical engineering, come back to the Gambia and, you know, contribute to the medical field. Now, what's your message to that young girl? watching you today who thinks, STEM is for men or it's not for them? What would you say to them?
To start off, I believe that it's a very wrong idea to say that STEM is for men. And this idea has not just, it has been instilled by our society. Our society wants to tell girls what they can and cannot do. And for me, I believe that STEM is not about gender. It's about
Mhm.
creativity, your ability, and your courage to solve problems. STEM is for minds that dare to question and discover. As girls, I believe we are smart, we are determined, we are just as courageous as men could be. We must never let society or anyone out there to tell us what we can and cannot be.
Mhm.
For anything that we choose to do, it is for our own selves. And we have to choose something that we have passion in. If your passion is STEM, then STEM is for you. Don't wait for anybody out there to choose for you, telling you STEM is a guy's job. STEM is not it's not all about STEM.
Mhm.
It's about mindset, and, and I believe as girls, girls that can be way smarter than boys. So why not us? And sometimes I blame ourselves because we accept these stereotypes that the world puts us in. We accept them
Mhm.
because when I tell you that this is not for you, this is for a boy, you let it go. You accept it.
Mhm.
To every girl that is out there, I don't want you to accept it. If you choose STEM, STEM is for you. Be part of those women out there that are encouraging girls to pursue their careers and stuff. Because sometimes there is a little girl at the corner who's watching you and you might never know. STEM is for you and STEM is for everybody. STEM has no gender. All STEM needs is a mind that is daring to question and a mind that is hungry for you. That is all STEM needs. And I believe that you can be the one.
Indeed, if your passion is STEM, then STEM is for you. If you're a girl watching here right now, that is what she's telling you. She's telling you if you're passionate about STEM, then you do not accept the mindset that STEM is not for girls or STEM is not for women or STEM is for men. Thank you very much for sharing that with all the girls and women watching you right now, Sarah. Now, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned from your journey so far?
I have learned that no journey comes easy, and the world is a vast place with endless possibilities and endless opportunities. You just need to choose the right way. Along the way, I faced a lot of challenges, but I knew that they were part of the journey. Those challenges helped me to become the person that I am today. And no matter how many times you fall, the number of times you fall is not important. But the amount of times that you get up from that fall is what is important. I've also discovered that the only thing between you and success is yourself. If you want to get something with the guidance of Allah and hard work and determination, you will surely get there. And everything is preparation. And sometimes we don't take some risks because we are scared of failing. Anybody that fails to fail does not deserve to succeed. Because you cannot succeed while if you just succeed without failing, it would not mean the success will not mean a lot to you. One will only know the value of success when one has failed a lot of times. So that is what I have learned, that life itself is a risk, and sometimes the risks are worth it. I took the risk of qualifying for competition without knowing what the outcome would be. And here I am
Exactly.
today, being crowned most outstanding student. If I can do that, why not any other girl out there? That is my question.
There is so much wisdom behind that, Sarah, and I think this is a lesson that will stay with anyone listening to you today, any girl or any young woman out there listening to you. But now, what do you think is the role of the community, our parents, the government in supporting, in encouraging and supporting women and girls who want to in STEM?
First off, where they have to start from. And I've seen a T-shirt. Sorry that it's local language. It says like Yepsi Manbila.
Okay.
The T-shirt it's written there Yepsi Manbila. That is the slogan that people use, and it's true. Everything begins with the mind,
Mhm.
the community level, and the family level. They should stop segregating their children, telling them this is what men can do and this is what women can do. That is where everything should start off. And when women or girls have this thing in mind that whatever field that I want to pursue, I can pursue. That is a good start. And the government also, there's many of the STEM jobs are not normally found in the Gambia. So one way also to encourage girls is giving them scholarships to travel abroad and pursue their careers, to learn what they want to learn. Because in the Gambia here, there's no aerospace, there's no aeronautics, and all those marine engineering jobs all are here. So we can see that. And some people might not have the funds to travel abroad to go and study this. So sometimes they will be subjected to courses that they don't even want to do.
Okay.
So the government should provide scholarships so that students, girls in particular, travel and pursue their career in STEM.
Okay, thank you for that. I think in as much as improvement is, we know improvement, there is always room for improvement, there's always room for more. But I think, the narrative is kind of changing a little bit. Now we have you said in Gambia, we have some of these institutions kind of coming up, but like you said, some courses are still missing there. But but you in fact told me that you can start with a medicine course in the Gambia. So if everybody just wants to wait to travel to study some of these courses, it's going to be a bit difficult because scholarships are not also available for everyone. Scholarships are there, but they have few slots that everybody cannot just get into. But when it comes to um, schools, like you said in the Gambia, I think there's there's still a lot to be done, but I think there's a lot going on as well.
Yeah, in USET, for the girls that are going to USET, pursuing the engineering courses, their fees are like they are given a discount
Okay.
for the girls that are going to USET. This will encourage a lot of girls, and there are also scholarships there at USET.
Okay.
So USET has already started doing it. If other institutions also take this, then I believe that because STEM is taking over the world, and we don't want to be left behind. So we really have to improve in that.
Indeed, we are so pushed for time. I believe we have just about 2 to 3 minutes for because the show is just 1 hour. So thank you very much, Sarah, for joining us today. Your story is really powerful because it shows us that hard work and determination does not really have gender. I think you're already inspiring so many people, and I cannot wait to see how many people you inspire and how much things that you're going to achieve in the years to come. Thank you so much for being here. But if you have any last words, now is the
Thank
time.
you for having me, and this was a really great opportunity to talk to every girl out there because I hope all the girls say this. Believe that you are strong, and I want to give a shout out to Yama, Panda, Aminata,
Okay.
Ramsulai, and
Mhm.
those are the girls with 18s. Like,
Okay.
I'm saluting you guys. Like, you
Yeah.
guys did good well. And I was so happy, like, to see girls, like, at that level. No, I was really happy. So shout out to you guys.
Thank you very much and have a good evening, sir.
Bye.
Bye. Viewers, that was Tia Cisse, our guest for on this week's Women in STEM show. Um, this is what Women in STEM show is all about. It's about reminding every young girl out there that they can dream big. You know, you can push through challenges and claim your space in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That's all for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you will join us next weekend for another inspiring episode of Women in STEM. Until then, my name is Awa Kante. Let's keep encouraging our girls because the future of STEM is definitely in our hands. Thank you and have a blessed evening.